Hi everyone, welcome to my short little tutorial on how I use Google Calendar. So people often look at my calendar and think, wow, you must be overwhelmed. But the truth is that Google Calendar really helps me stay on track, keeps me less overwhelmed, and it really keeps me on track with my goals. So I want to show you in a quick three or 4 minutes how I use Google Calendar and why I set it up the way I do. The steps are below in the blog post if you'd like to read them later. But basically, this is my calendar. It's been less of a busy week than usual, but this will give you a bit of an overview. So the first thing I do is I put everything in my calendar. And one of my blogger heroes, Ramit Sethi, does the same thing. I read his email this week and I was laughing out loud because it's exactly what I do. So everything I need to do goes in my calendar. Basically, the things that are in red, bright kind of reddy pink, is my gym schedule, which is super important to me right now. So I have that. I have that in red. And dark red are very urgent things like tasks I must finish. So my second step, as you can tell, is using colors. Blue are kind of the colors, the things that can get moved around. I have recurring instances of tasks in green. Um, I have tutoring sessions in teal. You can see that here. And I have classes that I teach at the university in orange and appointments in yellow. My colors are super important because then I can just take a quick look at my calendar and know what's coming up. Time with friends, for example, is in purple. So that's how I set up step 2 of my calendar. Now, step 3 is to make sure you have some tasks and checklists so that all of your bigger projects get done. Now, I'm not a huge fan of Google Tasks, but I'm going to show you how it works in case it works for you. The reason I'm not a fan of it is that the way that it puts your tasks in is, you can see right up here, I've put a sample one. It takes up your whole day. It makes it an all-day activity, which I don't really like. But how you do that, if that's how you want to do it, is you go to your Gmail, make sure that it's the Gmail that actually is the same as your calendar. And you can go here and you can go to Gmail and tasks. And when you do that, you can see just in this little corner here, a task box will pop up, and you can type in, you can click actions at the bottom, and you can type in your task and put a due date, for example. If you do want to connect it to your Google Calendar, all you have to do is go back to Calendar and go to Tasks right here. If it doesn't say Tasks, all you need to do is switch it here. So you'll see switch to reminders or switch to tasks. And then once you do that, any of the tasks you've had in your list with the due dates will pop up here. So it's quite simple. It keeps it all there. But I recently discovered Trello, and I prefer to use that. So Trello is a drag and drop interface. So you can see one of my Trello boards here. And it has boards, such as to-do list or whatever you want to call it. And it has lists, such as what I'm doing next, what I'm doing now, and what's done. And you can simply drag these little tasks around within the list. You can drag them to other lists. It's really versatile. You can color code them. You can add due dates. You can add stickers. And it's just very visual. So I really like it. And if you're wondering, hang on, how does this end up in Google Calendar? Well, that's the really cool thing called Zapier. So it's pronounced Zapier, and it's a little tool where you can zap together your apps. So all that means is you pick apps that you want to connect, and it syncs them for you. So when a certain action happens in one app, it makes something else happen in the second. It's free. If you want to do a lot of zaps and a lot of complicated zaps, then you have to pay. But for the simple things, I find it's free and it's easy. So I just discovered this recently, so I haven't made full use of it. When I do, I'll make a tutorial. But basically, I've put in one of my zaps into my Google Calendar. So if you see my Google Calendar, you see these little gray activities. Those are actually tasks on my Trello boards. So every time I have a task show up on my doing board or on my do next board, it's going to pop it into my Google Calendar for me. So I find that really useful and I really love it. So that's how I keep organized with Google Calendar. I hope that's helpful.